This is Wake Up and Lead, a daily podcast where young professionals learn to lead themselves. Today, we are talking about fitness, and I am talking about why you are not losing weight if you want to lose weight and why you are not gaining weight if you want to gain weight. A life principle right here that I think applies to this very heavily is the fact that we generally give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, which is not always a bad thing, but in this circumstance, it's not very helpful. For example, I have some guys in my life, mostly guys that are trying to put on some mass. They're trying to build muscle. They're trying to get stronger. A lot of times this is guys in high school or guys in college who their metabolisms are ones that older folks definitely wish that they had. And these guys can't gain weight if they try. But here's the thing. They simply aren't eating enough. They're like, I eat so much. I drink so much protein. You should see the food that I eat. And the reality is, scientifically, factually, they are not eating enough. And then you have people who are trying to lose weight. And I always want to be sensitive when I talk about this topic. And of course, there are caveats to this. And I'm not going to get into the science of all of it. I'm not an expert on this, but I know that like for 99% of people, if you are trying to lose weight and you are not, it's because you're eating too much. And I'm going to talk about counting calories for a second, which is something that I have done. I don't do it now, and I probably won't do it really ever again, at least as like intensely as I did back in 2020, because, well, I'll get into that in a minute, but the reality is if you want to stay the exact same weight that you are today, you need to eat around the amount of calories that you burn every day. So like if you burn 2,500 calories a day, if you eat that, that means you will stay the same weight. Now, if you burn 2,500 calories a day and you eat more than that, then you will gain weight. And if you burn 2,500 calories a day and you eat less than that, then you will lose weight, period. Now, a couple of caveats here. For one, if you wear an Apple Watch or some fitness tracking device and it tells you the amount of calories that you're burning, I promise you on my life that that is not accurate. Now, it's helpful though. And here's an example. Let's say it says you burn 2,500 calories and you eat like 2,000 calories and you consistently eat 2,000 calories for weeks on end when it says you're burning 2,500. Well, that just means that you're not actually burning 2,500. You're probably burning more like 2,000, which means you're not actually losing weight. And so you can basically like your fitness tracking device is going to be consistent with how much it says it loses. So you'll kind of learn how that works over time and you can adjust accordingly. But at the end of the day, protein is extremely important. I can't get into like all of this right now, but protein is really important. That's what's going to help you keep, build, and maintain muscle. But at the end of the day, if you want to gain weight, you need to eat in a calorie surplus. So to the high school guy that's super skinny and wants to put on muscle, you need to be eating more calories than you burn, period. That's the only way to gain weight. And you have to do that for a long period of time. And if you're trying to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to eat less calories than you burn. Now, there's tips and tricks and strategies for all of this. I'll have an episode, a longer form episode where I interview someone on specifics of this because I know people really want to learn. But at the end of the day, know this. For most people, if you are saying, yeah, I want to gain weight, but I can't, or I want to lose weight, but I can't, that means that you probably are, if you're trying to lose weight, it means that you're probably eating a lot more than you think. And if you're trying to gain weight, you're probably eating a lot less than you think. Again, we generally give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. And for 99% of people, the brutal facts are just that they are not actually eating as much or as little as they need to. Now, again, the way to truly know is to exactly count how many calories you're eating. I've done that before and it led me down a road of not having the greatest relationship with food. So I'm not necessarily recommending that, but at the end of the day, you can not count calories or you can count calories, but it actually technically does come back to how many calories you're eating versus how much you're burning. That's just like the brutal facts. In future episodes, I will get into like some strategies for maybe not having to count calories and be able to enjoy food a little bit more. But as long as you know in the back of your mind that like it does come down to calories in, calories out for how much you gain and how much weight you lose, I think that will start you off in a better direction depending on what your goals are. So just remember that Giving yourself the benefit of the doubt is a lot of times a good thing, but when it comes to gaining or losing weight, you're probably doing that. And it's probably time to look at the brutal facts and ask yourself the question, am I actually eating too much or too little? And that will get you started in the right direction. It's time for you and me to wake up and lead.